Hello and welcome to another Demis Hellen tutorial. Today we are looking at making this basic melody from 2013 out of my collection into a complex melody that has a little bit more feeling, a bit more rhythm, a bit more swing to it, a bit more emotion. And how can we go from this boring melody to this one? And I'm going to show you now. So blue is the original colour and we'll use yellow as the new version. Okay, so this is the melody here. It's just offbeat here, and offbeat, and offbeat, and offbeat. Okay, so this is probably something I'd do in a counter melody. I'd probably have it up here. So it's like playing along top the original arpeggio or the chord sequence playing. So it's a very basic idea. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy across iterations here. So let's make this melody more interesting. I am going to take this top melody here. So E. I'm just going to create this standard pattern here. Copy it across. Get rid of that one. Okay, so we have the same, a different rhythm on the top, but we're going to use the same notes. Okay, and A. So straight away it's got some more rhythm. So that's sounding good. Now we need to make a creative decision. Do we want to use chords? Bearing in mind this is not all going to be on the same sound. It's not going to be in the same window. Let's just copy over to that one there. So there's going to be different sounds. So we could put the arpeggio in the epic lead side of things, or we could put it in lead voca instead. We'll make that decision as it comes to it. Okay. So we have this with the new melody. I am now going to erase this one. In fact, I'll just put that to B there, and then we've mimicked everything to that. That's okay. Okay, so it's sounding a lot better. Now we need to work out, do we want a chord sequence or do we want the chords playing on pads? This is the creative decision we have to make now. So I'm going to opt for the arpeggio, and we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to have more of a rolling arpeggio. Something along those lines. So let's just, I like the sound of that idea, so let's just have a listen to that. Bear in mind that I'm playing on the world's smallest keyboard and I am a giant. So there's going to be plenty of bum notes in there. So we've got a C as the root note. So let's start with C. And we'll have this offbeat, in fact, so we'll just have it roll up. So the next note is E, and then we go to a G there. So let's just have that. Let's see. Okay, so there is something coming out of that. I'm just going to take these two notes here to complete the sequence. Chuck it up an octave. So straight away we've transformed the sound here to something that's a little bit more energetic. So all I'm doing now is shifting up the same sequence to the next note, which is G here. We'll worry about that F sharp after. So we've got the G, and we just want to make sure that all the chords are sitting in the right place. So we don't have a D sharp in here. Okay, so I fear that doesn't work there because we've obviously got a B here. We haven't got the A sharp because the A is natural. Okay, so it's sounding good, and then we hit up to an A. We do have an F sharp. Let's just double check. We'll keep that where it is for now. And we don't have a C sharp here, so we have a C natural. I'm just trying to work out if we should go... There's a B there. So we have that section there, which all I've done for that top note, because it wasn't working in the pattern it was before, I have just used the root note to finish it off. Let's have a look. So just remember, all we've done is copied this to here, to this second section, and then we've just transposed it up and just shifted the notes right. If you're wondering how I know to shift these notes, let's just draw something here outside of the drawing board. We have a C in here, and then just go through all the notes. So next one up, do we have a D in there? And we do. So let's just have that in there. Then we have an E, and then we have an F sharp. Then we have a G, we have an A, we have a B, and then we have the C. And that's our scale there. That is what we're playing in at the moment. And I'm not going to go into scales, not going to go into everything and tell you like how to understand scales and stuff. Scalesandchords.com is probably the best place you can find. I always recommend that. But they are the notes. So if you had them at the side, and then when you're playing around and you hit a bum note where you have that there, say that note, and you're going, oh, how do I know where to move it? Then you look at your notes here and you go, well, I can have a C. You don't have a C sharp in there. And I can have a D, so I can have either side of that. What shall I choose? And then... doesn't sound right, move it up, sounds right. So it's a case of messing around, especially if you don't have any theory. If you have theory behind you, you'll understand it a little bit more on how to move it. But I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible so people that don't have the theory can understand creative choices. Okay, so that is that section. I'll just close that down. That is still there, by the way, that scale here. So we've gone from... about 5 minutes ago, just this stabby off beat melody, to this one. So it had an offbeat bass. We made the melody a little bit more rhythmic on this section by adding a little bit of bounce. Then here we added an arpeggio below, just transposed it up so you could hear it. Suddenly it's sounding a lot better, and then here we are at the second iteration, the third iteration, shall we say, of this track. So that is gone from there to there. So now, how do we incorporate that original melody? And we are going to start splitting this up. Okay, so I'm going to copy this over so I have a second copy here. Okay, and I am going to, on this one, have the arpeggio. So we're going to take that top rhythm away, and we're going to take that bottom bit away. So now we have the arpeggio here. Okay, and I'm just going to delete it from this one. So now we just have the offbeat in the bass on the top. So suddenly we are starting to come together as a nice sound. We're going to load up Serum, and we're going to pick a pad to layer here, just so you can see how I layer things to make things a little bit more fluid. So we'll use one of the presets. Probably it would help if it was... Let's make this a bit sharper. Right. So, the easiest way to create your chords from your pads, from your arpeggio, shall we say, is take the first three notes, delete all the rest, take the first three notes, delete all the rest, and again take the first 3 notes, delete all the rest. And there we have. I'm just going to lower my thing down to that and then quantize so it puts it all in place. Okay, and then let's have them wall to wall with each other. Then we have a pad. And then this is where we can get a bit more creative to create a bit more emotion. I always move the middle note and transpose them up 1, and then you get this. Instead of it being down here. So it just sounds a little bit more boring to me, so I always transpose that out, and that starts the emotion side of things, makes it sound really uplifting and moving sort of thing. And then I would tend to build maybe a downwards pattern on top of that as well. So we've got some, because it's all rising at the moment. So I would probably transpose the E, sorry. And I'd probably have a 4-section falling melody here. So we could have it rise for this bit, and then here, I'm just looking at my chords. Let's have that there. And then let's have that intersect there. Okay, so it's starting to sound quite nice. Let's just mess around with some of these. I like the idea of the A there. So this is creatively up to yourself. I'm just messing around to show you what you can do. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just copy this tel reverb over just so you can see and hear this. Okay, so we've got the lows cut. Excuse me, lows cut there. Sounds much better with all that reverb on. So as you can see as well, I'm not bothering trying to EQ, compress, do any of these like creative decisions in all these external VSTs and stuff. I'm just trying to get the sounds right that work nicely together, because if they don't work together at first and you think EQ and compression and all the other creative decisions are going to change that, it's probably not. If they're not going to fit right from the beginning, you need to change your sound. You need to get the right ones that work together. And that's why I picked Pluck Stars and the Epic lead, because I knew they'd complement each other in a way. And this pad, I've just picked this one because it's a JP pad, but let's have a listen to what it sounds like. We'll just get the balance on the audio right as well. Oops. And it sounds nice. So it's entirely up to you how you want it. You let me know if you prefer the second pad or the first pad. I prefer the second pad because it is not an upfront melody, but you let me know in the comments. And that is the conclusion of making a simple melody into a lovely, complex, idea-driven track just to take wherever you want now. I can hear what bass line is going to be in there. So like if we take the bass line here and just take Pluck Stars, instead of having that offbeat bass, so we've got C, E and D. So I'm going to have this kind of So we're just going to have that kind of bouncing bass. Let's just put that an octave so you can hear it. Make sure you've got headphones. We'll do this kind of progressive sound. and that would probably work quite nicely in a proper sub-bass sound. Let's just put that offbeat in there. Alright, so that is the end of the video. I hope you found this useful on how to create, especially picking up arpeggios, and also just understanding the scales a little bit more here too. Like I said, I'm not going into the scales, but there are a few videos on my channel where it covers it, and also the link to scales-chords.com is also down in the description, because that is probably the best way and easiest way to understand. You can literally drag and drop. You can click the notes in the sequence, and then it'll tell you what key it's in and what chords would fit and stuff like that. So it's a really good tool to help you out. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the video and if you want to see more things like this, and also like if you think this video deserves it, and finally subscribe if you're not already. 2 videos a week, and it covers a variety of topics, not just trance, but predominantly trance on this channel. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, I just want to let you know that the MIDI files in this video can be found on Patreon. I have my first Patreon, so thank you very much to Ben. Don't want to read your full name out just yet, but if you give me permission, I will be starting to feature these people at the end of videos. But the benefits that you get MIDI files, you get unused MIDI files, possibly unused projects once I get around to uploading this content properly. But the MIDI files for this are there, and you get to see some of the behind the scenes video content, maybe that's stuff that hasn't reached the final video, and you get access to that, as well as you can get direct chat with me on there and other sorts. So head over, and I'm not saying that you have to, but if you want to, you can support the Demis Hellen channel through Patreon, as well as watching and liking and commenting and stuff, because all this stuff is good for helping people find the channel. So I'll leave it at that, and again, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.